All right, good morning, everyone. This is Charles with the Exodus Logistics Learning Centers. Today we have a freight broker one-on-one consultation with Ms. Scott. Good morning, Ms. Scott.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, how are you?
Just fine.
So you have some freight broker questions?
Yes, the main thing I guess would be the source of everything. Um, which is the meat of the business is gaining shippers. And my two main thing was gaining shippers and having that confidence. And what do I do in the event if a claim needs to be filed? And those are my main two important things that I wanted to kind of touch bases with today, if
Okay.
possible.
Sure. So this is a 30-minute consultation.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me share my screen. Hey, can you see the screen?
Yes.
Okay, so you had a question about getting shippers. So if I'm not sure if you are a member of our training. No. Okay.
I saw some of your YouTube videos and I was listening in on some of the things that you were teaching.
Okay. So getting shippers, customer shippers. So we have in our portal, our back office portal, different modules like getting started. And then module 1 is getting the shippers, dealing with the shippers and packets and stuff like that. Module 2 is, and then module 3. So under getting shippers, so there's several ways of getting shippers. You can start off locally. Now you're saying getting shippers for the very first time, like trying to get them under a broker shipper contract where you move their freight for them?
Correct.
Okay. So then you would, you can either Google your local manufacturers or shippers in your area. If you want to, you always want to start off local so you can you may be able to physically go to the shippers if you have to. You don't necessarily have to, but I recommend starting off local. Google like manufacturers, shippers, distributors, things of that nature. Where do you live?
Right now, I am currently in the north side of Atlanta, so I stay in Dallas, Georgia.
Okay, so we can say shippers in Atlanta. So you're near Atlanta. You like the metropolitan area.
Yeah, I'm like 12 miles.
Okay, so you can Google shippers, Atlanta, Georgia. You can Google manufacturers, Atlanta, Georgia. So if you look at this map here, I mean, this is a good starting point. You can just, all these shippers here on the map, right? All these different shipper locations, and then they have their information here. We have resources also in our portal. Let me go to our tools and resources. So we have resources to look up shippers, Webster's Online, Leonard's. These are common resources that are in the industry, ThomasNet, Hunter.io. These are just shipping directories. National Chamber of Commerce, IndustryNet. I just added these in here. Or the National Chamber of Commerce, for example, you can start looking up. And I can actually give you that. Let me put that in the chat so you can have. And I'll send you a copy of this recording as well to your email.
Okay.
So, but that's in the chat, Chamber of Commerce. And a lot of these resources are actually free to look up too. So you can, you don't have to pay for a subscription. You can just utilize them to access the resources to find shippers, because shippers, their locations are a matter of public record. So they're like, the buildings are not going to get up and walk away. They're going to always be where they're located, right? So, so for example, National Chamber of Commerce, Atlanta, we can do popular cities. You can look up the state and territories, Georgia. Well, we got Atlanta right here on the quick, right? So search by cities. So Atlanta is what? What is that? Fulton County, I think?
Yes, Fulton.
Okay. So we can say Metro Atlanta Chamber of Commerce. We can expand for the information, go to their website. And whenever you're at a Chamber of Commerce website, you always want to look at their directory of the members of that chamber, because, and then you look under the manufacturing or the warehousing department, so you can look up the members. So this is just a good resource for you to have here to go after the shippers. Another one is IndustryNet. You can find a supplier or a shipper here too. So let's say find a supplier, product or service, company name, brand name, we'll just say product or service. So what's popular down there, I guess, in Atlanta? What's being moved around down in Atlanta? You can ask yourself, like paper products, maybe some steel, maybe some lumber.
Mostly, we move a lot of paper. Like my husband picked up a load yesterday. He's going to a coffee, picking up coffee. But
Okay.
we mainly move paper.
Okay, so we put paper there.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll put locations, we'll put Georgia. So we got 10 suppliers coming out of Georgia, paper, just specific papers, and then we just look up. So Dallas, Georgia, right?
Yeah, yes.
USA Wipes. So, and they're over there on Memorial Drive, 398 West Memorial Drive. I'm sure you know where that's at, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we click for the number, industry, you can look at them on a map. But when you finally find a shipper based off of whatever resource you use to find them, the question becomes, well, what do you say to them? How do you approach them? What do you say to them to convince them that, hey, I am your broker, or I am your logistics provider. I am the person who can possibly arrange for the transportation of your freight, where you pay me to arrange for the transportation of your freight, and I will supply the carrier to do so. That's what brokers do. So right. Do you have your broker license yet, or are you applying for it?
I already obtained it. The only thing I hadn't purchased is the contingent cargo and liability insurance.
So
and I'm going to do that. But I already have.
Okay, so you're getting supplemental insurance.
Right.
But do you mind if I look you up on your?
Yeah, Safer. You go to Safer.
Yeah. What's your MC?
My MC.
Or the name of your company.
It's Scott Consulting Group, LLC. Let me see.
Scott Consulting Group, Olive Branch, Mississippi?
Yeah.
Okay, so do you plan on doing other things because you got a brokerage under the consulting group's name, or is there?
Well, I do taxes on the side, so, and I did it that way because I don't know if you remember that email I sent you, because I tried to do, I was gonna step into it maybe a few years ago, but when I opened it up under my same address information that my carrier was set up under, and the insurance company just dropped us. They said you can't have a carrier authority and then a broker authority because it can be a conflict of interest. And how do we not know if a claim is submitted that this happened on the trucker side? And so underwriters, they don't like to underwrite you if you have a carrier authority. So I put it under my address this second time go around. So I'm like, I'm gonna give a second try at it. So I was trying to make sure that everything, the address and the phone number didn't coincide so that I could lose my insurance under the carrier.
Right.
But I don't understand why, because if you look at XPO, they have trucks and they're a broker. I know XPO started out as a broker and eventually they started buying up other trucking companies. But FedEx has a broker division. NFI has a broker division. All of these big companies have broker division. I'm like, why is the insurance tripping about a mom and pop who will have a trucking in a broker division? I didn't get it, but
Because you are a mom and pop, you don't have the capital backed behind you yet. Number one. Number two, I don't know if those companies are running those companies separate, like the NFIs. Do they have a trucking division separate from their broker side, or is it wrapped under it as asset based? Or so that could be it as well. But yeah, you're right about the insurance thing, because when the claims are filed, and speaking of claims, you just asked a question about how do you handle claims from a shipper's or from a broker side. You're saying when a claim is filed against you, against your brokerage by a
Well,
carrier.
well, I wouldn't say by carrier. I'm talking in relation, and I know that everything is dealing with the truck, but how do I handle those claims? If, say for instance, a carrier picked up a load that I'm managing for a shipper, and either the load was stolen or he had an accident, how do that? What is the process in securing the resources back to the shipper for that product? Or how do I handle that as a broker?
It will go through your insurance, your claim. Because so if a situation is no fault of the carriers, then the broker step in as far as it relates to the shipper, who's going to compensate the shipper for, let's say, loss of freight. Let's say the freight was, like you said, stolen or whatever. The broker is under contract with the shipper. So the broker is liable and responsible for compensating even though they don't take possession of the freight, the carrier does, and the broker contracts with the carrier too. So the broker is going to deal with the shipper by going through the insurance of the carrier, even though, and this may sound unfair to the carrier, even though it was no fault of the carrier why the load it was stolen, but they're going to try to file. That's why brokers make themselves certificate holders on the insurance of the carriers, some cases, for reasons like that. But so yeah, the broker's going to try to recoup as much as possible through the carrier, whether it's the fault of the carrier or not, and then pass that savings back to the shipper in order to remain in good spirits or good favor with the shipper in order to keep that contract with the shipper, right? Now, the carrier can turn around and say, well, I'm going to file a claim against your bond because you're going after me for something that was no fault of my own. This is the carrier talking to the broker, right? If I were a carrier, I say, why are you coming after my insurance through a claim when, and in some cases that broker may not win, because the claim, when you file a claim against anyone's insurance, it gets investigated and it gets determined who was at fault. And if it's determined that the carrier was not at fault in that particular situation, then the insurance company is not going to award the broker those monies, right? So now the broker's going to say, well, I gotta dig into my insurance. So that's why you're getting liability. That's why you're getting contingent cargo. Contingent cargo is to help cover the cargo of what the carrier can't cover, right? It exhausts the difference of what the carrier's cargo insurance has. Let's say the carrier has $100,000 cargo, you get another 150. The value of the cargo being hauled on the trailer is about 200,000. So the carrier's 100,000 to cover it, and your other contingent for up to 100,000 to cover the rest. But at any rate, the shipper wants to recoup something, right? The question becomes, where does it come from, right?
Yeah.
So in that case, that scenarios, we can come up with 1,000 scenarios, but in that scenario where freight was stolen, of course, the police is going to get involved. It's going to get investigated. Turns out the carrier was literally did not, have any control over how it got stolen, whatever the circumstance was. So now the broker has to step in and satisfy the shipper as far as the claim is concerned, because just like brokers can file claims against shippers and carriers, so can shippers. Everyone can file a claim against everyone else, right? That's why you have a broker-shipper agreement. That's why you have a broker-carrier agreement. So read the fine print. When a shipper sends you a tender or an agreement for you to sign to take on their freight, read the paragraphs that has to do with situations like that, claims, and in case something was stolen or lost, who's at fault, things of that nature. But yeah, if there was a case with something being stolen, then it's gonna, you're responsible because you are the person who contracted with, the carrier didn't contract with the shipper, the broker did, right?
Mhm.
So it stands to reason that the broker's going to step in and do most of the legwork to help satisfy that shipper. Okay.
Hmm. So I always thought that the carrier was responsible for everything, and it just bypassed. And I wanted to make that. I wanted to have clear information on that, but also in the event that something were,
So why would the carrier be responsible? So if I'm a carrier, you're my broker, right?
because he was the one who picked up the product.
Right. I picked up the product according to the agreement that I had with the broker. I booked the load with you, Scott's Consulting Group, as a brokerage. So we had a broker carrier agreement. I got on board with you. You sent me a rate confirmation for the load. You're paying $2,000 or whatever it paid. I did everything that I was contractually obligated to do. I picked the load up on time. You called me, you did check calls and everything, see where I was at. Okay, I just picked the load up at 10:21 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on the 8th of March, 2022. I'm on my way to deliver it to the receiver. For whatever reason, the freight got stolen. Police is here, the state troopers are here, the DOT is here. It's being investigated. And at the conclusion of the investigation, it's determined that the carrier is not at fault, right? So now as a broker, what happens, right? So if the carrier is not at fault, why should a claim be filed against the insurance of the carrier if the carrier is not at fault for that particular situation? Let's think about that for a second.
No, because let me say this. If I'm driving down the road and if I have an accident in this truck, same scenario
no, it's not the same scenario.
Listen. Regardless of what's going on, if me and a car collide, they're gonna make a determination of who at fault. But if they say I'm at fault, then I have to pay for if it's an accident, then my insurance that as a carrier will be impacted. And
right. Why
should the broker suffer for what the carrier, even if the car ran out in front of the carrier? Because I've known one of my friends, the light was green for him. The car came out and hit the truck driver, hit him, and that person died. He lost his job, which was crazy because she ran the light. But I'm just trying to see.
So you're now giving a completely different scenario.
I know, but it's still the same thing because the carrier is the person who has the product, even though
right. The carrier. But just because I have a product, I'm just doing my job. I'm doing my job. I'm doing my job. I'm driving down the street, minding my business, paying attention to traffic. Someone hits me. It gets in. Now this person doesn't die. Someone hits me. Shouldn't the insurance of the person who caused the accident be the first insurance to go after?
Well, yeah, that's true.
So the person
who don't have insurance certificate on her.
So the carrier is going to have it investigated, and of course the carrier is going to call the broker and say, "Okay, Mr. Broker, I'm in an accident now. There's going to be a delay in delivering." So you still, as a carrier, you still want to call the broker and say, "Hey, there's going to be a delay. I've been in an accident. This person poured. It's not my fault. The person poured out on me. The troopers are here. The police are here investigating it. It's been determined it's not my fault. I got the insurance information of the assailant, I guess, for lack of a better word, the person who caused the accident."
Okay.
And then the broker steps in. Then the next thing the broker should do is call the shipper and say, "Hey, the freight that my carrier, your freight, Mr. Shipper, that was picked up from your shipping facility to be transported to your customer at the receiving facility. The carrier's been in an accident. It's no fault of their own. The person who hit them caused the accident, but there's going to be a delay." So the purpose of that is you want to let the shipper know so that they can make plans, call the receiver and say, "Hey, we got to push back the delivery time because there's going to be a delay." So now what the broker should do too, if the trailer or if the truck that was transporting that freight was kind of damaged and needs to be fixed, then the broker needs to schedule somebody locally with a power only unit come and snatch that trailer, like disconnect or uncouple from trailer and let another person come pick it up, another power only truck locally come grab it and finish the route.
Okay.
You know, and then deal with the other stuff on the back end with your insurances and things like that. So that's another thing that, because I had a situation where I had a driver who had a blowout. He picked up at Fort Bragg in North Carolina with a flatbed, driving over to Elko, Nevada. He broke down in St. Louis. So he only got paid from picking up in Bragg, North Carolina to St. Louis where he broke down. And the load was paying $3,600. He got paid 24 of that. And then the other 1,200 of that got paid by the local power only truck that came and snatched the trailer and took it the rest of the way.
Okay.
So it's a case by case, scenario by scenario.
Yeah, but that's a good analogy. But that's and would give me
in situations like that too, you have to come in, you have to step in and do what's called a trailer interchange agreement.
Right.
You have
So
to
let me
have
ask
trailer.
you this. What is most common? What are some of the most common claims out there? Because that's the only thing I want to kind of, because being as a carrier for over 5 years, I pretty much understand the logistics of what the broker does and how they do it. It's just having that confidence, because I've never been a customer service person. Well, I've been customer service, but this is just like cold calling. I've never been a person in sales.
Okay.
So I want to get comfortable at that. And what, in the event of having information, if something were to happen, what do I do as a broker to try to fix that? If the claim has to be filed because something happened with the carrier taking the load and getting it to its destination, that was interrupted either by accident or theft. As a carrier, we have never experienced that on our end because it was just me and my husband. But I know it has to happen.
Right. So if, as far as a claim from a broker's perspective against the carrier, then you just go through and that's the reason why you are listed as a certificate holder on the carrier's certificate insurance when you onboard that carrier to your brokerage. So when in the event of claims, since you are a certificate holder, you have the right to contact that insurance agency of the carrier to file that claim. Hey, this carrier, your client, Progressive, the carrier who's one of our carriers that's under this load was in an accident. We need to speak to your claims department, and then you start the process there. So now, in the event that goes in reverse, in the event a carrier files a claim against your brokerage for let's say breach of contract, you didn't pay the carrier when you were contractually supposed to pay them in the amount of time that you were supposed to pay them, or the carrier, you had a broker agreement between you and the carrier that you were going to offer them quick pay, but you didn't do quick pay. You sent them a paper check. They're going to file a claim. Hey, I was supposed to get my money 24 to 48 hours after I delivered to the receiver. I didn't get a check. I didn't get my money. Not only did I get my money wired to my account that I gave you in the broker carrier agreement, I got a paper check mailed to my house like 17, 20 days later. And according to the broker carrier agreement, I signed for quick pay, and you charged me, and you actually charged me up to 5% for that. And you took the 5% out of my settlement, right? So that's cause for a claim by a carrier. It is, because it's a breach of contract. So if I sign a contract, a broker carrier agreement, you're my broker, I'm the carrier. I fill out the broker carrier agreement. I don't know, have you developed your broker carrier agreements yet for your broker side?
I've been looking at just different generic ones, and I've got somewhat typed up of what pieces that I want to use, but I haven't completely finished it.
Okay, so on the broker carrier agreement, you offer payment options to the carrier when you are onboarding them to your brokerage, getting them approved as carriers to run freight for your shippers. So in the payment options, you may offer three options. You may offer quick pay up to about 5%. And quick pay is you pay them 24 to 48 hours, maybe same day after they deliver the load, and give you a copy of that BOL, or that POD, I should say, right? That clean BOL. So, and then that's option one. Option two could be an ACH transfer, like a canceled check or a routing an account number where you wire the funds to, right? That's automated clearinghouse. That's just a wire transfer. That could be 5 to 7 days after delivery and a clean BOL is turned into the broker, right? Or POD. Clean BOL, you know what that is. No OS&Ds, no over, shorts, and damages, right? So, and then option number 3 is a regular paper check mailed to the domicile residence of the carrier, 15, 30 days, whatever term after delivery of the freight. So I chose in your broker carrier agreement, I chose Quick Pay. You are a broker. Of course, most of your broker loads are factored. You use a factoring company as a broker. The carrier uses a factoring company as. This is assuming that the carrier does not have a factoring company. So he or she has no choice but to go with the options of the broker. So in your broker carrier agreement, Scott Consulting Group LLC, I chose Quick Pay. I delivered the load on time. I did everything I was supposed to do. There was no damaged freight. The receiver accepted the load, signed for it. So they indemnified me, the carrier, and you, the broker, from that load. So they took possession of it. So now it's theirs. I'm expecting to get paid 24 to 48 hours after, because I turned in my clean BOL, my POD, to your brokerage, right? So I did all my stuff. I'm waiting 1 or 2 days. I don't hear anything. I email you, nothing. I call you, it goes to voicemail. And then 15 days later, my wife tells me, hey, you got a check from Scott's Consulting Group, LLC. It was for that load you did like 2 weeks ago. Really? You just breached the contract, Scott Consulting Group, because I signed the agreement and selected your payment option of Quick Pay. So I can file a claim against you. I probably won't get any monies because I got a paper check. So I got the amount that you owed and paid me, but you didn't pay it to me in the way that I asked for it in the agreement. So technically I can file a claim, but I won't probably get any money because I got a check. I've already deposited. I got my money. So the claims department will be like, well, you technically got your money. I know you got an issue of the way you got your money, of course. So technically you have a claim, but
has carriers been that petty?
Yes. Yes.
Are you serious?
Yes, because they'll say, well, I guess it's petty and it's not petty. I'll say petty because, well, what was the point of me signing, or what was the point of me selecting Quick Pay when you're going to send me a paper check? There was no point. So to prove a point to the broker, well, I'm going to file a claim and it's going to ding your broker credit rating and your broker credit score, because brokers have ratings. They have an A rating, B, such and such and such. They have credit, they have scores too. They have a broker credit scores. So any claims that are valid filed against brokers brings those ratings and scores down. So, and it affects them when they're going after shippers, because shippers look up brokers' information just to verify, because not every shipper is not going to work with brokers. They're going to look their information up, just like not every broker.
Right. So that's why I was just mainly concerned about these claims, because I want to keep a clean record. And I don't want.
So here's the way to alleviate claims. Do what you're supposed to do. It's that simple.
But some things is not in my control, because once you have the load as the carrier, I can't control what happens.
So let me rephrase that. Here's a way to handle the claims from the broker side. Do what you're supposed to do. Now, handling claims from the broker side against the carrier, you're right. You gotta be worried about whether that load is going to get accepted, delivered on time, no damaged freight, and and not being rejected by the receiver. Because once the receiver rejects a load, what do? They're gonna file a claim because they rejected a load, it's damaged. They may take some of the freight and then file a claim against the damaged pallets and stuff like that just to recoup that money. That's small. But if you got a whole truckload that they rejected and they filing a claim, then that's an issue. So, yeah. But you should. So when you get your insurance, your supplemental insurance, not the bond, you already got the $75,000 bond. But when you get your contingent cargo and maybe errors and omissions or general liability or auto liability, whichever one you're getting, speak to your insurance rep and ask them about the claims concepts and how should that be handled.
Right? I got another question.
Okay.
I know you can't be how can what type of service do you actually offer to help a person um along the way? Because I think I need some guidance to once I want to start April 1st is just when I really want to start doing a lot of the cold calling. I'm just trying to prepare myself mentally, making sure I have everything done on my end, far as um, securing the insurance and different stuff like that. But until I have confidence in what I'm doing, um, and what are your fees and what does that service look like?
All right. So we offer ongoing training, and
Okay.
this month we're having a 15% off for the ongoing training for the month of March, St. Patty's Day. You see that popped up here. So, so we have 3 price points. The first
Okay.
price point is the $199, just the materials kit only. I don't know if you have your materials in place, your templates, like your broker shipper packet and what all the contents of that is, and your broker carrier packet and the contents of that. I don't know if you have that together for your company yet or not. So that's just that. Training materials only, your templates, we offer that. Number 2, we offer a 1-day, 2-hour seminar where we give you a high-level overview of what freight brokering is, so you can kind of determine if you want to do this long-term, okay? And that's just a 1-day, 2-hour seminar, okay? And also, by the way, the materials this is what you get. You know, some of the stuff you already been through,
All right.
but we do give you a copy of our broker shipper template, agreement template, our broker carrier agreement template, what a sample load tender looks like, rate confirmation. You've probably seen rate confirmations in BOLs because you guys are a carrier. So
Right.
we got our ebooks and then a sample, a shippers database. Matter of fact, I got a 2022 database I need to put in there too, a shippers list, shippers database.
Okay.
So, and then the reason I'm scrolling down is because if you decide, if you just got the training materials, but you say, I need some ongoing training, we can do a voucher where we can take that price that you paid for the ongoing training and deduct it from the cost. I'm sorry, the price that you paid for the training materials, the $199, and deduct it, use it against the cost of the $799 single member freight broker training. Okay. And the same thing with the 1-day seminar. We can do the same thing with the 1-day seminar training. We do a high level training as if you were in our trainings, and you can do a voucher for that too. But the main one is the ongoing course, where you get ongoing support, you get live trainings twice a week, 6 to 8 on Tuesdays and Fridays. You get access to our portal, all our resources in our back office, which is right here. What's all included. Talk about TMS systems, talk about load boards, our forms and documents, tools and resources, ebooks, up to 1-year membership. So you enroll for that price point. And then if you want to maintain access to everything that you get, the modules and everything, the self-paced modules, then there's a monthly subscription of $19.99, no obligation, cancel anytime. So that's what we offer in our course. And this is the actual course, the main menu. You know, you get started, the 3 columns, you get started column, the 3 module columns, self-paced, learn as you go, and then our more information, our training materials, TMS systems. Every live training we have a video library of the trainings, okay? And we have a couple of load boards that we let you access. Direct Freight, Trucking Planet. The 123 load board is a promo, free 30-day promo. You don't have to have an MC to sign up for that one. We actually have a partnership with them now. That's available as well. What else was I gonna say? Oh yeah, we have affiliates with TransCredit. We have an affiliate with them. I can look up your credit score right now and tell you what your credit score is.
It's probably nothing to haven't.
Exactly. By default, and then e-carrier check, that we have an affiliate with them. We have a factoring. I don't know if you have factoring yet, but we have a factory partner, Seven Oaks, Monica. So we got resources that we can point you in the right direction that'll help you. E-carrier check is a good resource.
Is 7 Oaks pretty good?
7 Oaks is great. 7 Oaks is great. They give you a 95% advance, 2.25% the first 45 days, and they've been in business for 25 years of service. Okay, and I think they do recourse factoring. So, okay, so I could put their information, her information, Monica, in the chat for you. Go from there. Just to call her, let her know you spoke to Charles at Exodus, and she'll say, oh yeah, and she'll take it from there. But TransCredit is a good resource to look up your credits. Yeah, you just established your broker, so you're probably going to be like in the 60s. Credit report research. The company name was
Side Consult.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back and throw the MC in there. It's probably quicker. The MC is 128-8418. Let me copy that. And all right. Yep, Olive Branch, click. Order the report. 62 right now, because you haven't done anything yet. But it's 62. This is all your information. I'm assuming you're Lukey Taylor.
No, that's my aunt.
Okay. And then got all these other things: freight broker, original signed delay, your surety company, claims department, SureTech insurance company. So all the data, I mean, this is a corporate login that I have. So 1 to 45 is color coded. 1 to 45 is highest risk. You're in the high risk because it's not necessarily a bad thing for you. You were 62, I think it was. Yeah, 62. You're a high risk because you just started and you don't have any shippers yet. You haven't moved a load yet, right? And you haven't established business credit. Do you know about like business accounts, net 30 accounts and things like that?
No, I was gonna try to, last night I was looking up different stuff to try to get me some business credit. I used to have a Fleet One card in that name, because the business name used to be different, because after I got married I changed to Scott, but it used to be Smith Consulting. And I used to have a Fleet card. I don't know why, but I guess because it's not a net, they take their money in 7 days. It's net 7. So I guess they don't report.
Right. So you can establish some business credits, like open up, like get like Uline, Granger, any type of business, Home Depot, just purchase something, pay for it the same month to build your business credit score up. And then that'll move you out of the high risk into maybe medium risk, low risk, or lowest risk. Because when a shipper looks your information up, because shippers have scores too, they have what's called PAYDEX. PAYDEX scores, so they have credit scores too. So this is your credit score, and then your credit rating, those are letters, like A is good, A and B are good. Your rating probably is going to be what's called an N. N as in Nancy, N rating, because you are a new broker with an authority no less than a year old, right? Or no more than a year old, I should say, right? So your business was established August 3rd, 2021. Is that when your brokerage became active? Let's double check.
Yeah, that's when it became active.
Okay, so we can go, yeah, in Safer, it pretty much shows it in Safer, right? Go over here and click on the authority history. And it was granted the 20th of August, your property broker authority. Okay, you see that?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so that's how you would look it up in Safer. And right now you're an active brokerage. You have a bond. You don't have any insurance on file right now, and there's none required for as far as liability and things like that, or nor is cargo. You're just a property broker at this point. So.
Yeah, I'm gonna obtain that policy on the end of the month. It's $4,900. My quote.
For what type of insurance is that?
It's cargo, and then it was auto liability.
So so together they gave you that quote for both of them?
Yeah, I think it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're basing that off of your personal credit, apparently, because you haven't established business credit yet. So
Probably so.
Yeah. And that's an annual, that's for the year, that 4,900, I think you said?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Is that high?
That, kind of, but I would shop around for other quotes.
Let me see. It's 150 for cargo, $1 million for auto, third party legal liability, and then what's it? No, that's just it, 5,000 deductible. Okay. Paper for cargo, liability, paper
Okay.
for auto. And I don't know what's the surplus line. They got other fees included because the freight broker cargo is only by itself was $1,350. The auto third party was $2,000, and then they have like a SLT filing fee for $750, a surplus line tax. So the rest of it just freaking free fees is not the insurance. Now that I'm looking,
Yeah.
the insurance is just together is $3,300, but the rest of it is just fees. Wow,
Yep.
are you serious?
Yeah, so now you want to go back. So, but I would take a screenshot of that and then compare that to other insurance companies and see if they offer those, I guess, hidden fees, because I don't think you noticed that until you took a second look at it, I guess, right?
Right, I didn't notice. I just saw the 4,900. I'm like, well, okay. And now when you just asked me, when I see the breakdown, they charging a lot of fees just a filing fee.
So who is that?
This the insurance carrier is good. Let's see, because I got it through Alleged Insurance Service, but that's just the insurance broker. I'm trying to find who this policy would be with. Hold on. Global Underwriting Ltd.
Okay.
Lois.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll have to see.
I need to email him and ask him why the fees for the insurance.
Right, and then see what kind of lie they're going to tell you, because it's coming.
I mean, it has nothing to do.
And let them know you found a comparable company. I just want to make sure that what yours is either higher or lower before I make a decision, and then see what they say.
Okay, I thought to give me another quote for somebody. I just thought I didn't look at it.
Look up trans insurers, because you're looking for transinsurers.com. They're based in Midlothian, Virginia. So trans insurers. Yeah, just Google trans insurers, and then Amy Spencer's over there. See if you can. They're based in Midlothian. If you see the one in Midlothian, they're like a small mom and pop, so they have a tendency to work with your numbers and everything, and give you some good rates. So
okay, okay, I checked them. I didn't even realize they had all them fees associated with the darn policy. That is crazy.
Yep. All right. Well, we way past our time, so
well, I apologize.
That's okay. I got a Zoom meeting at 11, but I just want to make sure that hopefully I answer some questions for you.
Yeah, I would hate to say I might need you to kind of hold my hand a little bit, so that's why I was asking until I get the confidence dealing with the shippers or any. I'm
a shipper. I'm a shipper, right? So call me right now. I'm a shipper. How would you talk to me? How would you?
You gonna put me on the spot, really? Hi, this is Jacqueline Scott. I'm calling with Scott Consulting Group, trying to see how can I help you move some of your freight. I normally have trucks in your area, trying to see how can I help you get your freight moved.
Okay.
That would be my.
All right. So you take that, take all those take all the out of the phrases.
Okay.
Because you want to sound confident. So a freight broker is someone who arranges for the transportation of freight, a logistics provider. So you want to sell yourself, sell your services. Before you call the shippers, educate yourself on the companies that you're calling. Do your research to find out what they haul, what they ship. So when you call them, say, hey, yeah, this is such and such from such and such brokerage. We are a freight broker. I see you guys move lumber out of Dallas, Georgia. Do you guys go to the Northeast? What lanes do you run in, right? And what lanes are you having problems moving loads in? And if you give us an opportunity, we can provide capacity for you, right? So are the problems you're having, is it a capacity problem or is it a rate problem, right? So capacity means they don't have enough trucks to move the loads. A rate problem is they have the trucks or they have truckers who want to move the loads, but they're not willing to pay. So that's a rate problem. The shippers are not willing to give them more money to motivate the carriers to move those loads. Or it could be a capacity problem. They have the money, they just don't have the trucks to move. So in either case, as a broker, you step in and, offer whichever service in whatever lane that they're running in and however they need it, whether it's a rate issue or a capacity issue or both.
Could be the rate, probably.
And more than likely it's the rate. So because if shippers pay higher rates, then they shouldn't have a problem with capacity. They shouldn't have a problem.
Right.
So.
Because my daughter, she works she's customer service at Nikki's. And that is one of the biggest complaints. So I took all their information down. They are in Memphis, Tennessee. I was going to try to approach them first because she said the truckers never come and pick up the freight. And I asked her, what kind of rate are you guys offering the carriers? She said, well, she don't know because she don't handle that side. But they always have loads that never get pick up. And I think they work with C.H. Robinson right now, which is, kind of odd that C.H. Robinson can't get the load secured. So I figured it has to be a rate problem.
Correct. More than likely, especially with C.H. Robinson, you never know. Right.
So I'm sure C.H. Robinson had plenty of trucks in their database.
Yeah, of course.
It has to be you guys. That's what I told her. Your company probably is offering them pennies on the dollar to move it, and at the rate of this fuel, you can't. If you need your freight there, you're gonna have to pay.
Correct. So it could be fuel prices, fuel surcharge, things of that nature. So yes, I would agree with you 100% on that. And it's a carrier's market right now because there's a driver shortage. Okay. And so the shippers need the loads moved. So, it's just crazy.
Well, I barely can tell. Let me ask you one more question. What is the typical fees a broker can make off a load? What is a good, is it 10 to 15?
So yeah, so average broker margins is between, especially new brokers, between 15 to 20%.
Okay.
So 15 to 20%. So you charge that for brokering. You're pretty much brokering for free for the shipper. You're just, because they're giving you let's say they give you a $5,000 tender to move their load. And that's all they're going to pay you. So when you invoice the shipper, you're still invoicing them for $5,000. So the shipper's not paying you anything unless you negotiate extra money for like accessorials, fuel surcharge and things like that, unless it's included in the rate. So, but yeah, so you're getting the money on the back end, the net. You're getting your net profit from that $5,000 load tender. So you're going to take 20% off the top of that, and then resell that load to the broker, to the carrier for the difference, right?
Okay.
So that's how that works.
Right. Okay. I was just trying to see what is a good rate, because I know some of the brokers, they will gouge.
Yeah. Start off with so
not all of them, but
you also want to be competitive too. You want to be competitive in the spot market, which is what the brokers normally pays to the trucks on average. So you want to keep pace with the spot market, because if you don't, carriers are not going to pull your load if it's not competing with what the load normally pays in the market anyway. right?
Right.
So you want to keep pace with that, of course. So
Right.
a lot of things to consider. Welcome to freight brokering.
I know, because my husband, he mainly does a lot of the calling. I was doing the bulk of it at first, but he does a lot because he's been driving for over 20 years. So he's a little more aggressive than I am. So he'll
Right,
kind of
right.
break their
Yeah.
neck, like really.
Yeah.
So, but
Okay.
I know that I'm in business for me and I can't focus on a whole lot of different stuff. Because sometimes I've heard people say, well, I want to be fair to the driver. You have to be what is reasonable. You want to be fair to the driver, but you also got to keep your stuff going too. I'm not in business. Well, the company does not have me in business. That's what I say. Because
Right.
if the
So
company's
if
making me, then I'm not getting a return on my asset.
right. So you want to make sure that you offer a fair rate to the carrier and
Right.
make your margins at the same time. Therein lies the balancing act of brokering.
Right.
Okay. So, and I think you'll be okay.
I'm probably gonna end up, I guess I'm gonna go back on your website and figure out which one I'm gonna enroll in, because like I said, I think for the main part is getting help and getting that confidence when calling shippers and making sure I can locate shippers. And I know I most definitely, if some issue were to come up, I wouldn't know how to handle it. I would need someone to help me, because I know it's not going to be peaches and cream going into the business, probably going in the beginning, but once I start moving freight and dealing with different things that could arise, I would need some guidance on how to, keep the company going and what I need to do. Because I know some things you learn during the process. You're not gonna know. You won't know until you get into it.
That is correct.
So, and I want to be successful.
I think you will. Plus, you got a husband who's having trucking experience for over 20 years. So
Yeah. So,
okay.
yeah, I don't want to hold up your time. I know you got 2 more minutes before you hit your next call, I think.
Yes, ma'am.
But I do appreciate you. Thank you for all the information that you did give me. And I'll just revisit your website after I narrow down which one I'm gonna need the most, and then I'll go ahead and make the purchase.
Okay. Well, looking forward to that. And even if you don't go with us, if you still have questions, just reach out, and we'll see what we can do for you.
No, I'm gonna pay for my service. I don't believe in it. I don't want to have free answers. I mean, it's good as a side piece, but you've done all the information and digging and researching. I need to pay you for your knowledge.
No problem.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.